Alright, so this is episode 2. Yes, the long-awaited 2. So this one's a little bit more structured. We actually have a more viable topic. Sorry, Chris, not to make fun of you or anything. We kind of wing it the first time. This time we actually have a legit topic to kind of talk about. And our guests today, we have Lisa Marie and we have Breanne. So, hi guys, thanks for joining us. And the reason why I kind of asked you two here is because, one, I know you two very well, and two, you guys have a lot more in common than you probably might think. So that's kind of the main reason why I asked you guys here, because you guys can talk about a lot of different things. And the main thing I was aiming for in terms of talking about life in general is balancing life with fitness. Because I know for a fact your schedule is bananas and your schedule was just bananas, until a couple months ago. So that's kind of the main reason why. And then we'll kind of touch on some other stuff and kind of go from there. But kind of, if you guys want to rock, paper, scissors, decide who's going to go first, tell us.
You want me to go first?
Yeah. Well, what's your deal? What do you do for work and all that stuff?
All right, well,
use a piece of tape on the bottom of your shoe. Okay.
Here we go.
That's one of the few things that I do, you know. I'm a teacher and a high school teacher, and I also coach 2 sports, field hockey and lacrosse. Also married, have a dog, got a crazy life. So, I think that it's really hard, getting into the gym sometimes, but you just have to make a commitment to do it. But my schedule right now is I go to work from 7 to 3. And then I coach either from 3 to 5 or 4:30 to 6:30. Or if we have a game, I don't get done until 7:30, 8 o'clock, depending on where we are. So it's obviously, it's really crazy. And right now, so the fall I was a head coach for the first time. And that was kind of daunting on me. And I feel like I didn't handle fitness and school and work and everything as well as I should have. So this season, I've kind of taken a different route. So I really try to get up for the 5:30 and I can't. I used to be able to, and now I don't know what it is, but I have to listen to my body, and that I need that sleep, even if it's that extra 45 minutes, my body needs that. So I decided days that I can get into the gym, I have to go on open gym Sunday, trying to get into the gym 2 other times during the week, and then days that I'm not in the gym, I'm going to go for a run and do some core work at home. So I think having a good plan of action is definitely helps a lot, and forcing myself to do it, you're not going to gym today, okay, you're going out for a run no matter what the weather is, just go out there and do it. Rain, shine, cold, hot, whatever it is, I'm going out there, because at least if it's 10 minutes, it's 10 minutes of something that I didn't do in the fall. So I think that just kind of, making a schedule for yourself every week and being on top of it. But I know what it's like to be crazy, and it sucks, and you can't do the things you want to get done. And I have goals for myself, and I feel like I have to kind of not be so hard on myself for those fitness goals during my coaching season, because I just need to be able to get through it and still maintain a fitness level. So that's my goal, and it's hard, and it's sometimes you're exhausted, but you just have to find out what works and not make an excuse to not do anything because you feel like you can't. So I think the biggest thing is making a schedule and sticking to the schedule.
Yeah.
And you can kind of go. I mean, I just talked for a long time, so.
Well, when I was in school, last semester was my last one, so fall. And then I worked full time on top of that, so working and then going to night classes. The only time I could go was at 5:30 in the morning. So making that commitment to myself and prioritizing it and realizing that I have goals and I want to achieve them, and making it a priority in my life. So sacrificing sleep, and then catching up on the weekends if I could, and just realizing that my goals are more important than me getting a few hours of sleep during the week. But and not having the luxury of being able to run outside, because by the time I got home it was 10:30 at night, and I'm not going for a run at 10:30 at night. So making sure that I hit my goals and making time, not making it an option. I think that was the biggest thing, is it was my routine, it wasn't an option.
Okay. Yeah, and I think a lot of people run into that. We see that all the time. it's usually, especially when people start to kind of fall off little by little, oh, I don't have time. But I think it comes down to prioritizing kind of like why it's important to you. And while, yes, I asked that first initial question, that was kind of like the fluffer, to be perfectly honest, because it leads more into what I really want to actually talk about. Because, cool, we have all that crazy schedule, but why do it? And that's kind of like leading into that, the why. Why is getting in here, why is that any of that matter whatsoever to you?
I know for me, it makes me feel better. Like, I feel better about myself. I feel like I have a clear head. If I'm stressed out, even if I'm tired, I feel like I have more energy after. And like once you hit one of your goals, it's like the best feeling in the world. And then it's like, okay, what can I do next? Like, what can I push my body to next?
See, and for me, like, I like to achieve certain goals, but I think for me, it's even just that, like, it's, if I'm in here for an hour, like, it's an hour, I'm not thinking about everything else I have to do. Like, as teacher, like, I'm grading papers, I'm planning lessons, like, my work doesn't end when I leave, and then even when I'm coaching, so, like, for here, like, it's an hour a day, I'm not worrying about anything I have to do, I'm just worrying about myself and like prioritizing myself for 1 hour a day, which like I normally don't do the rest of the day. So I think that's super important, like why I'm here. And like this is, like CrossFit is the only thing that I ever found that like works for me and like pushes me, and there's always something new to try or like get better at. Like you're never perfect at anything, so it's like nice to just work on yourself for even just an hour every day whenever you're here.
I think what you said as far as prioritizing for the hour, I think a lot of people, I think everyone at some point spends, I don't know, probably 80% of their day in almost like a reactive kind of thing where you have a certain, you might have a plan of how the day is going to go, and, if you got everything done that you needed to in 2 hours, the rest of your day is spent kind of reacting to situations around you, like whether it's a coworker comes up to you and says, hey, can you help me out with this, or a boss says, hey, I need you to do this and this, or something at home or whatever the case is. But for a lot of people, they don't realize that it's only an hour out of their day. In the probably 16 hours, if you're getting 8 hours of sleep that you're awake, it's tough not to find 3 hours a week to come in and at least do something. And like you said, like it's, even if it's twice 2 hours a week, and then you go for a run for 10 minutes and do, some kind of 10-minute core work or something like that. There's always something that can be done. And I think that the good thing about us here is that the classes are only an hour long. So in the grand scheme of things, an hour twice a week, 3 times a week at best, I can't see why, obviously whatever kind of situations people have going on at home and with their lives and work and things like that. But at a certain point, you just got to make it a priority. You got to make 10 minutes, even if it's 10 minutes. We have the at home and travel workouts, 21-minute workouts and things like that. 10 minutes is so much better for you for people long term than not taking that 10 minutes. Like, it's amazing the difference between someone who takes 10 minutes or who doesn't. Like, it's night and day, and it can prevent a lot of things from, a lot of preventative things from the future, which is really important for a lot of people, for sure.
Oh, yeah. And I kind of like think back, and it's kind of like what you were saying, like, especially when it comes to this realm of fitness, where you can't be just good at one thing. You have to be good at a lot of different things across different domains across the board, whether it be endurance, whether it be weightlifting, gymnastics, all that jazz. And I think CrossFit has a good eye on how to make people that much fitter. And I think it's breaking a lot of different stereotypes. And I think just in general, stereotypes are being broken and shattered like all over the place, left and right. Not only with fitness, and then kind of the other thing I wanted to talk about was the body image thing, because that's kind of a huge thing, especially with the way social media is nowadays, and like everyone's an Instagram model in some way, shape, or form, and stuff like that. And it's kind of it's a little bit kooky, and it's a little bit weird, just because some of us grew up in an age where that didn't exist, and now to see it exist, and then knowing that there's kids out there that grew up with just that, and knowing that, oh, if I just have the right filter, or I take a picture at the right angle, I'll look perfect, and I think it creates more issues than it actually, helps. So, do you guys have anything?
Yeah, I mean, that's not even just, I mean, that could even be body image, whether it's that or, I mean, even just people who work out. I mean, especially in what we do, it's not like, there's bodybuilding and things like that where it's, you don't really fail a rep or not able to do something, like whether it's, it could be like, oh, I can't lift that much weight, but in what we do here, there's so many different barbell movements and different movements that you just might not hit. You might not hit that clean. You might not hit that snatch or be able to front squat that weight, but no one puts misses and mistakes and difficult days of training or working out on Instagram. People only put the new PR, the good stuff, all the things. So, I mean, as people who, you guys, especially, like, you have certain fitness goals, and I know for like you and I, we have goals as well, but you can spend 3 hours straight scrolling through Instagram and looking at it and go, wow, like no one misses anything. No one fails. No one does anything. So it creates like a real negative stigma towards failing. Like, you're supposed to fail to get better. You can't move forward unless you actually fail at something, or otherwise you're just good at everything, but no one's good at everything.
Yeah, I mean, kind of going off like Zach, and then we can get back to that in a second. But like coming in here, I mean, I've had multiple really, really bad days here. Like, it's not like I come in here and I walk out, I'm like, wow, I'm an all-star. Like, there's multiple days I walk out of here and be like, wow, I really need to work on X, Y, and Z, but like, this is what I did well today. And I think that like, that's the nice thing about, coming here, is that like, there's always going to be things you're good at and things you need to work on, but like not harping on those negative things when you see people like, wow, this person's doing awesome, like they just did this, like, but I never see them fail, or like I never see them do this. Like, you don't know like how many times they failed, or like how many hard hours went into that. And I think that's also like a lot of progress that you see all across this gym, like with all the different members. It's just all of the hard work and like the fails and the tears and like, the whole like I've experienced every emotion ever here. So like I've had like really good days and really bad days, but I think that's why it's like, it's fun though, because it's like pushes you and but it's hard, like, yeah, it's hard not to get caught up on the negative things. Like, I could tell you I get caught up on a lot of negative things, especially like when I'm in season and I'm busy and I can't get better, and like I have to just maintain, and that's hard. But like, as long as you're seeing like the progress, I think we're in a generation right now, and I talk about this at school all the time, that like they just want an instant reward. So like people just want a quick fix. They want to see that, like they want to get that clean like right away. But it's a process, and like coming here is a process, and like working really hard to achieve your goals across the board, whether it be fitness, body image, whatever you're trying to do. But there's no quick fixes, and I think this really, like being here really teaches you that.
Like, there's a beauty in the struggle, because
Yes.
it makes it, once you get your goal, or you get that PR, or you get whatever you're trying to achieve, like it makes it so much more worth it, instead of having that instant fix of, oh my God, I just got this, or oh, I just got this great achievement award for doing nothing. Fantastic. Like, that struggle makes it all worth it in the end. At least to me, like, realizing my progress and realizing I couldn't do that like a month ago. I couldn't do that 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And then seeing what I can do now, it makes it so much worth it, so much more worth it.
Yeah, I think it's a testament, because literally as we're filming this and as we're talking about this, the Open just finished, and just seeing just over those 5 workouts, how many people do we have PR? Like their first pull up, their first muscle up, their first chest to bar, or anything like that. First time lifting a heavy weight, like going RX on an entire workout. That means a lot to a lot of different people, and just seeing that struggle, and the tears were flowing like crazy throughout these past 5 weeks, and it's a nice thing to see. It's humbling to see all the time, and I think it kind of puts things in perspective, because the great thing about this is like, yes, you achieved that goal, cool, you nailed it, but then all of a sudden there's a new one, and then you see what the next thing is, and then you see there's no like settling whatsoever. It's like, yes, you can live in the moment, you can enjoy the moment, but now it's like, okay, it's time to get back to work. What's next? where do I go from here, and kind of think about, okay, what's the next step from here, and so on, and it's always progressing over and over. No one's allowed to stay stagnated at a certain level and just stay there and be comfortable there, because we're very good at being very uncomfortable here, and that's kind of the name of the game. If you're comfortable, then you're not going to progress anything. You're not going to go anywhere, and I think if you get comfortable with being very uncomfortable, then I think you'll make it through life quite fine. So you'll be all right.
And I mean, it's even better to see, people have the goals inside the gym, the pull-ups, the lifts, the things like that. But I think it's even better to see what those goals you have here translate to outside of the gym. Like, again, we get tons of people who come in and is like, hey, I just want to keep up with my kids, or, I want to get off my heart medication. And it's the best thing, especially for us as coaches, and to see that member come up to us and go, hey, I'm not taking this heart medication anymore. I went on a hike with my son, and I was able to get through it with him. He's 10 years old, and he's able to move, and I'm just not. Now I am. And it's the little things like that. Like, it's awesome when somebody, like we said, gets the pull up or lifts the weight or anything like that. But it's even better when that goal that you just hit in here now translates to your life outside and just makes your life that much better. Like, that was your goal, to lose 20 pounds, to keep up with your daughter, pick up your grandkids, or whatever the case may be. And now you can do that because of what you've experienced here. Like, that's the best kind of goal for us as coaches, for sure.
Yeah. Kind of going off like the open thing. So like, this was my 4th open. And this is the first open that I didn't PR anything or didn't get a first, and I like thought a lot about it, but like kind of looking at it, it wasn't so much like I didn't PR, like get a legit PR, or I didn't, do a muscle up for the first time, but I am a different athlete during this open than I've ever been. So like, I think I was the most consistent athlete during this open, and that like I didn't take huge amounts of rest in my workouts, and I stuck to the plan that I had, and that's all that I could do. Like, I mean, that toes to bar workout, I'm horrible at toes to bar. I'm good at singles. I'm good at resting in between them. But that's something I've struggled with. So my plan was, I'm just going to do all 25 singles. And did that take a long time? Yeah, but I didn't stop. And did I get to where I wanted to? No, but I didn't stop, and that's what I need to be proud of. And then, like in the snatch, burpees over the bar, hate burpees so much, especially over the bar. But like, I wanted to get 7 minutes, and I got 5.5 minutes because I didn't stop. So I think like, setting goals for yourself that way, and like not necessarily getting PRs, but like being, like I said, like we were talking about before, like I'm proud of the process, and that like I'm a different athlete, and yeah, I might not be the fastest athlete, or I might not be the best at X, Y, and Z, but like I'm gonna be consistent, and that was my goal during the open, was to be consistent and keep moving, because that's something that I internally struggle with. So, and like the last one with the chest bars, like I wanted to get through those 33 chest bars, and I surprised myself. I got through more, and like I felt like my chest bars felt good. I only ever do them during the open, so so it's like, and they felt a lot better than they did last year. So like I failed a lot more reps last year, and I felt that this year I was a lot, like I wasn't scared that I wasn't going to get up to the bar. So I think that that's like a PR for me personally, even though it's not in the mind of the CrossFit world or on the leaderboard. Like I might be lower than I was last year, but I worked a hell of a lot harder the past year. So.
And at the same time, like you said, sometimes goals don't have to be hit this weight, lift, get that pull up, whatever the case may be. I mean, each day you wake up, you have some kind of goal. And when you come in here, you generally have some kind of goal, whether it's, hey, I just want to move today. Hey, I just want to work hard, or like not take as many rests in a workout, or whatever the case may be. And that goal is still as important as that first pull up, that first muscle up, things like that. Because those little goals add up to that. I mean, like you said, in the open, didn't hit a PR, but you hit your goals. Like you still had goals, and little goals like that, like I said, just add up to eventually then becoming that PR.
And it's funny because like, as the coaches, the members kind of look up to us as kind of like, because we're the coaches, we work at a gym, we work out all the time. They see us working out all the time. But then like hearing you say that, and it's like the little things, it's the same thing. Like it surprises people when they hear like one of us say something like that, right? Like during that last workout, my only goal in life was to maybe finish that last workout, just because I knew I didn't have it in me to do it, because I hate chest to bar. Chest to bar is like the one thing. I'd rather do bar muscle ups all day than do chest to bar pull-ups, because I absolutely despise them. And it's just that one movement that just destroys me internally. But then I went in there with a plan. Like that morning I discovered how to do butterfly chest to bar for the first time ever, but I could only do 3 at a time. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do 3 at a time and just hope to God I make it. And somehow I finished, and I felt like crap afterwards, but it's those little things. It's just like I stayed to plan, and I just kept going, and I just wanted to stop so badly. But then that's where the community came in, and everyone was screaming and like keep going, and I just really wanted to stop and not do anything anymore. But they kind of help push you, and it's sometimes having that outside source, and because we always like to listen to the voice inside of here and listen to the voice that's in our head, and sometimes it needs to be drowned out by more positive things, whether it be the bigger voice inside your head to tell you to keep going, or people on the outside, and kind of surrounding yourself with like people that think the same way that you do and kind of keep you going, keep you pushing and stuff like that. Because yes, you finished 3 minutes before me, but you were still on the floor too. So I was like, okay, just making sure he's still alive, and I see you rolling around over there. It's like, all right, he's still breathing, so we're good. So it's like little things like that. It's like, okay, I stuck to my plan. That's all I wanted. I don't care how it ended. I don't care what's gonna happen. Just as long as I stick to my plan, that's perfectly fine. And you don't have to PR everything. Everyone thinks it's like, I need to make that 10-pound jump right now. Like, sometimes it takes a year. Sometimes it takes a couple months for it to occur. Like when we were having the string cycle, and some of the people didn't get to PR like all their lifts, like the big 3, the back squat, the bench, and the deadlift. Maybe one person got it on one, but then the other 2, they fell short. It's not necessarily a bad thing. Maybe your form was a little bit better. And I think like the perfect example that I think comes to my mind was Wendy. The only thing she PR'd on one was her deadlift, but everything else she matched her previous PR. But then if you look at her movement, the way her body kind of traveled through space during those 2 movements, it was much better than it was before. And even those small victories mean something. Because it's like now you're not overcompensating and just not like doing a deadlift with your back completely rounded just because you want to lift it off the ground because, it's a heavy weight and I want to just prove that I can pick it up. And it kind of like, it's little things like that in the silver lining we kind of have to look for, even in like those bad days, extremely bad days and stuff like that. So it's kind of finding a silver lining in with certain things. And I mean, we've been doing the Open for a while. I'm kind of curious to hear what the rookie of the Open has to say about this, because this is your first Open. So what did you think?
It was interesting.
You gotta be more descriptive than that. Sorry. Interesting.
I didn't think I could do a lot of the things going into it, but I surprised myself on a lot. And this is kind of like my benchmark year. I'm interested to see how I do it. The one in October, I think. Yeah. It was interesting to see how everybody worked together, and it was nice to see everybody cheer each other on in the atmosphere that was brought on.
Yeah. Despite, having 2 teams and people were like eyeing each other up, red versus black, which we'll find out the winner on Thursday.
It's funny at the same time we split people into teams, but it still didn't matter.
Yeah,
it didn't matter.
Was cheering.
No one, we always joked about it and things like that. Like, I don't want this person to do as well. But at the end of the day, everyone comes together in that moment. You can't help but come together in that kind of moment.
And like you feel somebody's excitement when they get these movements.
Yeah.
Like when you did your like the snatches and the burpees, and you were like, I suck at burpees. This is gonna be terrible. And then you did it in like 5 minutes and 30 seconds, and it was I felt proud of you in that moment because I knew you did something that you really wanted to do. And like it doesn't matter. Like in the end, it's like we're all competing for ourselves, and it doesn't matter as long as everybody does well. And then it makes it more interesting if everybody does well and keeps the competition.
Exactly.
Was it scary?
Not really.
Were you scared at the beginning?
Yes.
Beforehand? Why?
Yeah, it was just nerve-wracking.
I think everyone is.
Yeah, everyone.
Like,
everyone
I mean, I know. Yeah, I know personally. Like, before every workout, like I get nervous. Yeah. It's not, it's gonna hurt. It's not gonna be fun, but you still do it. But again, and that attests to not just the open, but even like daily workouts. Like it doesn't even have to be a WOD class. It could be an all-out class. Like I've done all-out class where I look at the board, I'm like, this might hurt a little bit, and then you know. And again, people get nervous coming in here, whether it's your first workout, your 100th workout. Like there's some kind of nerves that you'll feel coming in, but once you get past that, once you realize that you're doing it for, like you said, for the competition of it, or for, you know, your self betterment, or whatever the case may be, you find that little goal that you might have in the grand scheme of things, and that's what helps you to say, okay, I'm coming in, I'm doing the work, I'll eat right, whatever the case may be, whatever you're presented with. If you have that goal in mind, it'll just get you there. It'll get you there for sure.
It's kind of like I was watching last week. I was watching the CrossFit documentaries because every year in the Open I decide to watch all of them because it's fun. So like like the first year that Matt Fraser won, it was more like Ben Bergeron talks about how like it wasn't Matt versus everyone else, it was Matt versus himself, and like I feel like that's like kind of what I've transitioned to right now, is that like it's not me versus everyone else in the gym, because if I do that, I'll have more negative thoughts about myself because it'll take me longer to finish a workout because I'm struggling through something, but it's me versus myself, and that like I want to do my personal best and like be better than I was yesterday. So I think that's like the biggest thing is that I've learned over the past 4 Opens, is that it's not me versus everyone else. Like I can't compare myself to everyone else because I need to get better for myself, and like I think I'm going to progress a lot better by pushing myself to be better instead of comparing myself versus the person next to me.
And it'd be great if everyone had that mindset, because that's the mindset that you need to have. Because again, whether it's the Open or just a regular all-out class, like people will look, how many times have we coached an all-out class and somebody looks around, they're like they're just nervous because of who's in the class and where someone else is at. But you have to realize that it's not, no one's here to compete against each other. We're here for everyone to get better. So if you realize, no matter what kind of level you're at, that you just need to beat yourself from yesterday, then you're golden. You're going to be fine.
Because I know for me, it was really intimidating, like transitioning from the all-outs to the WODs. Because I was like, these people are like insane. I'm like, I can't do any of it. And then, but the community is so encouraging and it's so like inviting that once I got past, going to this class and being intimidated and like being quiet and being in the corner, and then these are actually really nice people. They're not just they're here and they want you to do better. They want you to push
that 5:30
yourself.
crew would do something to you.
But I mean, again, like it does. It looks intimidating.
It does.
Like you see, and the coaches take the WOD classes too sometimes and things like that. So it's like, if you're a newer member and you don't know, you come at night and you don't know who Coach Nivi is, but you see him working out at the 4:30 WOD class, and he's, you look at him and you go, I'm never gonna, like, who the hell is that? What the hell am I gonna do about that? And then but then you transition in, you see that it's not, I'm comparing myself to him. I'm here. If I'm using a 15-pound barbell or a 200-pound barbell, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like I'm getting better and I'm in it.
I think getting over that like initial going to the first one and then being like, oh, this is nothing. Like this is for me. This is not for them. I'm not here for them. I'm not here to compare myself against them. I'm here for me and what I could do at my first WOD class versus now. That's awesome. That's amazing. Am I at their level? No. Will I be at their level? I hope one day, but I'm at the level that I'm supposed to be at for myself right now.
Yeah. It's the perfect way to look at it.
It just comes with time. Patience is a virtue. This is a very patient game, so we all have to kind of remember that and not, I want it now. It takes years, especially when you do make that transition from all out to WOD, because WOD is more technical than anything else. And I mean, been at this for 6-7 years now and still trying to fix that snatch and clean and jerk and just tweaking little things here and there. It's a never-ending process, so it's never going to go away. So I think once people get over that initial shock, they'll be fine. I think they'll do well. Yeah. Appreciate you guys coming.
So too.
Chew.
I went like that. That's embarrassing.